to wonder if we should even bother with movie tie-in games.
We know they're always rushed and terrible, and we're so rarely wrong about them.
Oh, you know, every now and then we get one that truly surprises us, though.
Yes, unfortunately that was not the case with Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters, however.
Ryan Reynolds, who plays Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern in the film, also lends his face and voice to the game.
It's bright as day, black as night.
Which sees our Lantern fighting against the Manhunters, who are the original protectors of the galaxy, using a series of green hard light constructs as weapons.
The story is pretty lame. Manhunters are led by Abin Sur, who is described by Hal Jordan as the son of the greatest Green Lantern ever, who has managed to harness yellow fear energy to use against the Green Lanterns and their allies. So you're unceremoniously plonked into the middle of a battle where you begin to smash your way through enemies in a war of fancy light, green against yellow.
One thing I will say for it though is that the use of the various hard light constructs that the game provides you with is actually really cool. As you gain XP and level, you'll be able to take on new constructs, some of which are really fun to use. Missiles, a giant mech suit, one that lets you throw a plane. You assign these attacks to face buttons in conjunction with a left and right trigger. And I love a game that makes full use of controller buttons.
Yeah, in fact, you're spoiled for choice with abilities. You have so many that you just run out of buttons to use, so you end up just mapping the ones that you use the most.
Some specific constructs are required to complete puzzles, however, so you need to have them handy, like exploding mines or this baseball bat, which you use to deflect enemy fire right back at them.
I think one of my favourites was that grapple. You can pick up enemies and just run around like you're at a carnival with a balloon on the end of a string. Whee! The co-op in this game is another feature that works quite well. You can drop in and drop out whenever you like, which is the only way co-op should be done in my opinion.
And some of the puzzles actually felt like they were really designed to be tackled in co-op, with really specific timing elements that left me thinking that they'd be quite annoying to do solo.
And there's some shameful repetition in the levels here, isn't there? It's really unimaginative. You'll go through a whole area shutting down some major power core, only to find you have to do the exact same thing again on another level. Early on in the game, I had to disable a bunch of these towers, and I just kept thinking, how many of these towers are there? And then Hal said this.
Oh, great. More towers. How many more do these guys have?
Even the game knows it's being boring.
Yeah, and that slow walk to cover loading is just a really lazy mechanic. I mean, I'd rather just have a loading screen than be forced to walk slowly between every area. And also the predictable formula of flying, shooting missions.
Yeah, they always felt like filler to me, and I could always sense them coming.
You know, after a while, I did feel like I was getting into the swing of things, though, after I'd beefed up my dude a bit. I just love the way the game would enter slow-mo on the last hit of a group of enemies you'd cleared, especially if I was going all out with that Gatling gun. You just feel awesome, and you know, constantly getting new constructs like that mech suit would really change the combat. It was like having a shiny new toy to play with every few levels. I was actually starting to enjoy myself a little bit, when all of a sudden...
Yeah, it's way too short, and that's just unforgivable.
Yeah, it's just not on. I mean, this game has some cool qualities. There were elements about the combat that I enjoyed, but the script is dodgy, the levels are repetitive, and even though this isn't as expensive as, say, a top AAA title, it's still way too much to pay for this length and quality, in my opinion. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yes, alas, the curse of the movie tie-in game continues. It's such a shame because there's so much about Green Lantern that works for games, just in the mechanics and how he works as a character, but he hasn't had as good game yet. This is too short, it's too repetitive, and there's not enough game here, so I'm giving it 3.5 out of 10 rubber chickens. We did play the PlayStation 3 version, so it's possible the Wii version might be better, but that's not usually the case, is it? No. It's not usually.
Negative.